So I tried to make this video twice now. The first time something happened, it was glitchy and it wouldn't upload. The second time, I redid it. I'm thinking, all right, there's something wrong with the video. And I messed up so many times. I'm doing this for the third time now. Yeah, so the last video I made, I was talking about how, I wasn't feeling well and I didn't want to go to the hospital because it would cost too much. Because even though I have proper insurance now, that doesn't cover everything. Like you're still responsible for whatever the insurance doesn't cover. Anyway, I did end up having to go to the hospital. I don't remember. I think I made that video like really early, like it was late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Like I think it was like I don't even fucking remember when I made that video. It was early Sunday morning, like at maybe 12 a.m. I don't remember. But I ended up, lying down, and I managed to fall asleep, and then I woke up in the morning, like, I don't remember what time, and my heart was racing so fast. And now here's the thing, right? I do have hypertension, right? I have high blood pressure, but I also have orthostatic hypotension, where when I stand up, my blood pressure drops. Because a few years ago, I went to the doctor, and she did a test where she had me sit down, stand up, and sit down and stand up. And what she found is when I stood up, my blood pressure would drop. And this is part of like an autonomic disorder. But I'm not really sure. So, and she didn't make a big deal of it. So I'm thinking, okay, fine, whatever, right? Because I had been telling her for years that, I get dizzy and I get weak and sometimes it's hard to breathe. And she always said it was anxiety, right? And then she did that test and it showed that there was a legitimate reason for it, because when your blood pressure drops, your pulse increases and you can get dizzy and all of those symptoms. But here's the thing. My pulse I've been having bouts where my heart just speeds up, my heart rate speeds up, and there'll be palpitations, and sometimes it's beating so fast it's frightening. And it seems like it's like as time passes, it's getting worse and it's lasting longer. So Sunday morning, like I don't know when I made that last video. I think it was probably like Sunday at 12 midnight or I don't remember. But Sunday morning, I actually got up, and my heart was racing, and I got out of bed, and I say bed like I sleep on one of those Japanese floor mats, right? So I don't actually have a bed. It's like a mat on a floor. It's really comfortable. But I got up from the floor, and my heart was already racing when I woke up. And when I got up, it was crazy, like racing, pounding, beating really hard. I figured, all right, I'm just gonna wait this out, because I still did not want to go to the ER. I sat down for a while. I felt a little bit better, and I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to go see my mom at the nursing home. And I went to go leave the building, and I walked downstairs. And keep in mind, downstairs, not upstairs. I walked down the stairs, and my heart started racing again so fast. Like, normally that would happen if I walk upstairs, but and even it doesn't always happen. Like, it's once in a while where it gets that bad, because of course our heart rate increases when we exert ourselves. I'm not talking about like a normal heart rate increase, right? I'm talking about something massive that's abnormal with palpitations. But no, this time I was walking, so I walked downstairs to get out of the building, and my heart was racing so fast. I walked out of the building then, and I had to go back in and sit down in the lobby. At that point, I was really scared. Because for days before that, I had already been feeling shitty, and my heart rate was just too fast for too long. So I called the ER. I called for an ambulance. So here's the thing. I'm trying to think of what happened. They got here and I walked out, and they were nice enough, and so I got in, and this is what's weird. They took my blood pressure, and of course it was high. That's what I expected. I have high blood pressure. But my heart rate was normal. And I could feel it. It had kind of slowed down. It wasn't as bad as it was before I called. This was really weird. Just all of a sudden, like for days, it had been fast and rapid and crazy, getting worse to the point where I had to call the ambulance. And then all of a sudden, it just normalized. This is why I have to wonder, might someone be using some kind of energy weapon here around the building. And I don't like saying these things because I don't want to sound crazier than I already sound. But I have to wonder. So, I mean, the people in the paramedics were nice. They were nice. So we get to the hospital. They check me in. And what's weird is that by that point, yes, my blood pressure was still very high, but my pulse was normal. My heart rate was normal. They did the EKG or EEG, whatever. When they hook you up to they test the electromagnetic pulses, whatever. That was normal. Okay. They said they were concerned about my blood pressure, but not my heart rate. What's even weirder though is that my heart rate continued to go down to the point where it got abnormally low, like abnormally. And so then I started worrying about that. It was in the 50s at that point. That's not normal. And when I have my episodes, it can be like 140 or higher. So, the doctor said he wasn't too worried about that. They ended up doing not a full tilt test. The cardiologist that they referred me to is probably going to do the full tilt test. But they did a test where they moved the bed down and then up, and then they had me sit up, and then they had me stand up, just to see what would happen, like how my blood pressure reacted. And as I expected, my blood pressure decreased when I stood up. So that's the orthostatic hypotension. It's weird, like, because I have high blood pressure, but then it decreases when I stand up. So it's like, some people, with the same condition, they'll say, well, take a lot of salt and drink a lot of salt water or something like that to keep your blood pressure up. But they have normal blood pressure. They have orthostatic hypotension with normal blood pressure. So they can do things to increase their blood pressure so that when they stand up, it won't drop too low, right? But I can't because I already have high blood pressure. So I don't know. We'll see what the cardiologist says. I'm going to be seeing them. I'm going to be seeing him tomorrow. I'm literally going to be in massive medical debt now because, again, insurance does not cover everything. So we'll see how much. I'm dreading the bill I get for the ambulance and for the ER visit. Now I'm going to have to see the cardiologist too, and there's going to be a co-payment in addition to whatever the insurance doesn't cover. I'll also get a bill for. This year is not turning out great. I was going to save up for a really, 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 really cheap used car. Not going to happen now. Anyway, today I feel okay. I mean, it still feels like my heart sometimes is beating too hard, but it's not like my pulse isn't as fast as it was before. It's not like it's not too fast at the moment, right? I'm not having palpitations now. We'll see what happens.